Hey, everybody. It is so great to have you here. I'm Janice Thornton with JT Fitness and Golf, and I have my friend Kevin here. And he's got a great story about golf. And one of his goals is to become a scratch golfer. But Kevin, tell us what your handicap is now. And I want you to give us a backstory of your project that you're working on.
Sure. So, first of all, I'm Kevin Stevens. Thanks for having me, Janice. I am one of Janice's students, or what is it, a student?
Client.
Client. I'm a client of Janice's. So, Janice is my fitness coach. First of all, I have been a financial planner the majority of my career and also ventured into like SaaS sales, software sales a little bit also. But I decided to kind of just follow a passion for a living. And one of my passions is golf. I want to become a scratch golfer. I've always been a very average golfer, Janice. It's like I spent probably 30 plus years with a horrible swing and just wasting time. And
Don't we
so
all?
I've wanted to change that. The older I get, like I want to play a lot of golf and be good at it.
Mhm.
But I just didn't have the opportunity to do it. So I decided to just follow that road and I want to become a scratch golfer by my 50th birthday. I've got a website called www.notscratch.com, and on that is my timeline. I have 615 days, 10 hours, and 24 minutes to become a scratch golfer right now.
Okay. So that's 2 years, a little less than 2 years,
Less than
uh,
2 years.
but you can do it. I know you can do it.
I think so.
Yeah.
I'm excited. So I started as a very average golfer. I went through a new swing. I found a wonderful golf coach named Carl Sims, and he's here in Bella Vista, Arkansas, where I am. And he has helped me go through a complete new swing change. So I was a 16.6 handicap, started the new swing. I shot like 103, Janice. I
Oh,
shot 100 twice.
I
Like
get it.
I haven't done that since I was, 18 years old, probably. But there's been a couple in there. But I'm back to shooting. I had my best 2 rounds of my life in the last couple of weeks. I shot 82 and 83
Mhm.
on some pretty tough courses. So I'm excited to. I think that's like one of the scores was at like a 9.5 handicap. The other would have been 11. So making progress.
You are making progress, but here's the thing, making swing changes is one of the hardest things to do, and it's hard to commit. But however, when you can commit, then great things happen. And I had a little swing change again in March, and it's so hard to commit to it because when it's not going well, ooh, it really doesn't go well.
No, and part of that is balance, which is really important, which I got from your program immediately. That was like one of the biggest impacts that I had. But just getting a nice smooth swing instead of I used to have a baseball swing and I was all hunched over. It was just it was ugly.
I could see where that would be tough then if you had more of a baseball swing and then going into a golf swing. I could see where that's tough to make
Yeah,
the switch.
a little bit of a challenge, but made it. And thanks to, a lot of work with my coach and your program, the combination of the two, I'm feeling far more. It's a different swing with a nice foundation, and it's just really solid, nice and balanced. And that balance is critical, and that's something that I never really focused on that. And your program actually got me to think about like every motion with if I was on back on my feet or if I was up on my toes and if I had the nice balance. And that was one of the biggest attributes I can give to your program.
What were some of the biggest things you found in the 90 days that happened to you with my program?
Well, the first 2 weeks, like it came in perfectly with my timing because Carl and I had been talking about like, first of all, I needed to stretch more and become more flexible. I think he rated me a 7 out of 10 on flexibility on his little schematic. So We had talked about it and it was like perfect timing. So you and I started, we had a conversation. You did an assessment, looked at, my flexibility and where I stood at that point. And the first 2 weeks are like I built up a lot more foundation. I had been neglecting. I have knee issues, so I was neglecting my kind of upper thighs, my glutes, my butt, all of that. And it was weak. And I didn't realize how weak it had become. So that first 2 weeks of your program, that was the biggest impact that I noticed. It gave me like more of a solid foundation to be able to just swing more smoothly and just get that nice consistent feel. Because if you don't have that balance, that consistency is not going to be there. So
Right.
that's what I noticed in the very first 2 weeks. That was like really about week one, maybe plus a day or two. And then 2 weeks in, that was like, man, this is a difference. So that was
Wow.
huge. Yeah. So that was the first impact I remember really feeling. And then going through, and I think I felt my best probably around that 6 or 7 week mark.
Mhm.
I had been really consistent, probably 5.5 exercises a week, and man, I was feeling great. And then had a little injury, and then after that injury, I kind of cut back, and you and I communicated quite a bit, which I want to talk about. That's a great,
Okay.
another great Janice attribute. But during that injury, I kind of tailed off on some of the exercises and quit doing some of the weights and uh, just kind of held off on that. Then I noticed a big impact on my body. I was sitting a lot more. I wasn't working out as much, and I was so much more like sore, and I was in pain, and I felt 58 instead of 48. Like it was it was unbelievable. So I got to experience like throughout that 90 days the best of it early on, instant impact, and then like midway through feeling incredible, and then having to fall off, not having to. I could have done a little bit more. There's plenty of excuses, but feeling that after tailing off and like that soreness is just eye-opening.
Yeah,
So
absolutely. And we did, yeah, we did talk a lot during your injury. Um, so how about you tell people like what I do that helped you through that injury?
yeah, I think first of all, the communication throughout the program was incredible. You do a really good job of combining, like, I know there's some that are automated, which are good just to keep us on our toes, which is, that accountability is necessary.
Mhm.
But your personal touch to it, like you shot me text messages and then messages through the app and all kinds of stuff, just communicating. And we made adjustments throughout. But with the injury specifically, like I think the first adjustments we made were some high impact things with my
Mhm.
knees and
Yep.
something I didn't even anticipate, like doing basic jumping jacks on one of
Mhm.
the exercises actually had a big impact. So you and I switched that up 2 weeks in, 3 weeks in, I believe. And that was really helpful. So you gave me some different exercises to do that weren't going to have that big impact. I was doing some kind of goofy looking jumping jacks where I was going up on my toes. But that still really helped to go through that and, I guess just get those muscles activated. So,
Yeah.
um, those types of with the elbow specifically, you gave me what to avoid, which we quickly found out, and then what exercises to implement just to take the place, so I'm not missing out on those. And I think honestly, Janice, there's probably some of those exercises, like the extra ones that I ignored in your program that would have probably helped me with this a little bit more. So.
Yeah, and that's one thing, one of the ways my workouts are set up is I have the workout and then I have two golf, well, I call them golf specialty exercises, and they're nothing strenuous. It's just, it might be a stretch. It could be that we're working on rotation. It could be we're just stretching, yeah, your wrist or whatever. It doesn't, just they're just small little things that take 2 minutes.
Yeah, there's like
And
2 to 5 minute ones. It's
yeah,
awesome.
And you're not alone on people skipping them. I have to tell people all the time, get in there and do those specialty ones. They're there for a reason.
Yep.
This is one of the reasons that will help you really with the golf game and help you improve. So I have them there for a reason for sure. For sure. Well, Kevin, is there anything else that you'd like to share with people about like you trying to improve as a golfer? I think is so fun and people definitely need to follow you. So we want to give that information. And then if there's anything else you want to add to let people know about, again, benefits that you saw and how did you like having the app, using the app for your workouts?
Yeah, the app was really cool. It was, first of all, you did a good job of going in and making recommendations for what exercises to do on which days. And the cool thing about the app is that it gives you the flexibility to move those around. If I didn't feel like necessarily working out heavy with weights, there was a yoga option that I could, change the dates on, and the different flexibility exercises and all of that stuff. Being able to interchange those in the app is a huge benefit.
Mhm.
But yeah, I really liked the interaction with the app, the messaging also, like that accountability piece, I think is one of the biggest. I don't know. I can go to the gym and I can be productive somewhat, but
Yeah.
I think I told you early on, like your program, what I was feeling, it provided me with a purpose with every workout instead
Yeah.
of just going through the motions and thinking I'm doing, some full body stuff and hitting the gym 2 or 3 times a week. Your program, at least like every exercise, is tailored to some aspect of the golf swing, which is
Mhm.
beautiful.
Yep.
But it's also going to give you like the full all around focus, the weights, the flexibility, the yoga, like all that stuff is beneficial. It's necessary to not feel horrible in the mornings.
Well, and especially as we get older, I hate to say wait till you turn 50 because things do really change once you hit 50.
Yep,
And so many people neglect mobility and just the stretching, and we have to, and again, we're a society that sits so much at a desk or in the car that we really need, and our thoracic spine, our upper spine just really gets stiff and tight.
yep,
And when we have more mobility in our spine, we're gonna, especially thoracic spine, you're gonna have less neck pain, you're gonna have less shoulder pain. Your knees, you nailed it earlier when you said you haven't really been working out that much. And so your glutes aren't getting worked out. Well, your glutes are so important in a golf swing, but they also are so important to be strong because it's the base of your core. It's also going to help with having stronger knees when you have strong glutes.
yep,
So, and yeah, all of your legs need to be worked. But again, like you also said, I do modify everything. If there's something that needs to be modified, I'm happy for us to get on a call, whether it's Zoom, just over the phone, whatever, to show people, here's other exercises that you can do instead. Like if
yep.
you see that exercise in the workout, we'll just switch things out. So that way we can, get you going, what you need to do.
And I think even going back to the age thing, that's one of the best things that I like about working with you, Janice. First of all, you're a real person. Like you're not some crazy, energetic, like, just trying to pump iron and get, a lot of there's a lot of that stuff out there. But you're just super cool and great to talk with every time. It's like uplifting and you have a great personality. But I think also with the age thing, I liked it because I didn't want to work out like a 25-year-old.
Mhm.
I'm 48. I was 47 when we started. I'm 48 now. I don't want, like, you've already been through what I've been through or am going through, and
Mhm.
that in itself is a massive benefit. So I looked at that as a huge positive. And then just like in our first conversation, just connecting, like you're super cool and just easy to
Oh,
put a plan together with. And like, you want a cool accountability coach. You don't want somebody you don't want to like that you want to avoid or something. And
No, we don't want you to avoid me. That's no fun. It's no fun on my end anyway.
yeah, and I can't imagine your side, like trying to hold people accountable. And it's easy to try and just, let a couple of workouts go away, and then you don't want to be accountable to that. But you do a really good job of keeping in touch and staying with it. And all of that is important if you want to accomplish whatever your goals are.
Yeah. And it takes a special person though to do my workouts as well, though, because you have to be self-motivated. And
You
you
do.
are, Kevin, are very self-motivated,
Mhm.
which is
Thanks,
great.
James.
Because if you're someone who kind of sits on the fence, then it's easy to let the app slide. It's, oh, I'll do that workout tomorrow. That becomes this weekend to next week, and then weeks go by, and that's no bueno either. So
No bueno.
you were awesome because you
Aw,
really went in
thanks.
there and you worked very hard to make sure that you got your workouts in when you could. So that was
I
great.
wanted to be your best client. That was my goal. I don't think I'd necessarily accomplished that, but I think I was hanging in there for a little bit. So
You, so until you really got more injured, you definitely were. I was like every day would see, because I get on my end, I get a notification every time you get a workout done. I'm like, oh, there's Kevin again. Oh, look at him go. He's just going to town on his workouts. So yeah.
and from my goofy perspective, I'm like, oh, Janice is going to see this. I know she's going to see this.
Yeah.
And that's rewarding. It's super cool in that way. So that's what accountability is about. Like not only the bad side, like get your workouts done, but you're super positive and encouraging to get it done. So
Very good. Well,
mhm.
Kevin, thank you so much. I really appreciate this.
Thank you, Janice. I can't thank you enough. I can't
Well,
recommend Janice's program enough.
we're gonna get out there and get you back going and up and running again.
That's right.
Perfect. Thank you.
All right, Janice, thank you.